Hello. And welcome to episode 162 of the Eldritch Podblast. I'm Margaret.
I'm Jack.
Hey.
How's it going?
Listen.
Hey.
Was I being lambasted for making a typo? Maybe.
You ain't getting lambasted for making a typo. So obviously we have a timer down here and we refer to that timer whenever we need to cut out for the dog or if somebody's at the door or something like that. And last time it was just wrong. And it was I understand that it can be wrong by a minute or so with editing. It can be in and out. But it was 11 minutes out.
And it's because instead of 3, I wrote 2.
And then she's like, just find it. And I'm like, what do you mean? Just find it. These podcasts are an hour long. I have to sit there and just scroll through for an hour.
So, hey, editors, hit us up. That's a joke.
That is a joke. We can't afford to pay you right
now. And you know what? The editors would have the same issue.
Yeah, they'd have the same issue because when you send them the timestamps that are wrong.
You know what? It's so hard writing timestamps on this iPad. I think I should take it off of Google Sheets because the thing about Google Sheets is on iPad, and by the way, this iPad is ancient. I have to double click on the cell and then I have to switch to the number pad. I wonder if just writing it down in a document would be easier.
I don't know. Well, anything that makes them more accurate.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like, you know what? I've just had the epiphany right now that writing it in Sheets probably isn't the right move, to be honest with you.
It's going to be Sheets for this one.
No,
we've already no, you can't do it now. You can't do it now. We're mid-podcast. We're mid-podcast. How are you?
Oh, hello. I hope you've had a wonderful week. This is Thursday.
This is Thursday, yeah.
I hope
one day left till Friday.
Yeah, thank God it's Thursday.
Yeah, thank God it's
TGIT.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
TGIT.
Yeah.
That's what
yes. That's what they say, get.
That's what the big franchises are called. TGIT. Yeah, exactly. I hope you've had a wonderful week. What you been up to? What you wearing?
What you
eating?
What you drinking?
I gotta know.
Tell me what you're doing while you watch the podcast.
Oh gosh, is it warm for you? Because it's, you know what? In UK, the weather has been so weird. It rained, and I thought it was the end of it because it was kind of cold last night.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was quite chilly last night, and now it's back to being humid. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it is super humid.
You know what? I don't even mind the heat. After it rained, it got warm again, but
it was nice. It was like a fresh warm.
It was a fresh warm.
It was like a fresh warmth.
You could feel the breeze, and the breeze didn't make you want to melt, and now we're back to it being humid. Yep. Oh, it's horrible.
It's horrible.
It's horrible.
Horrible.
It's awful.
It is awful.
How are you? How's your back?
Back better.
Good.
Back much better.
Good.
Yeah. Been had some heat on it yesterday.
Yes.
Back much better. Feeling much better.
Yeah,
it didn't really hurt much yesterday, to be fair, at all.
We bought those them deep heat sticky pads. And it didn't do anything for you, did it?
I couldn't even feel how hot it was.
Which
I couldn't feel it was
strange.
Hot. And at one point, it just fell off.
Yeah.
I don't know if we maybe
didn't put it on right.
Maybe we didn't put it on right. Yeah. Maybe we didn't secure it enough to my back.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, we secured it pretty hard. But yeah, how strange. Because so many people we know, and we got them off Amazon. All of the reviews were like, these have actually changed my life.
Yeah. Everyone's like, man, prepare the super hot.
Yeah, well, I said that, but nothing.
Just didn't feel hot at all.
How strange.
So I don't know.
How
what the crap
odd.
was.
Maybe you need the actual spray or the actual cream.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Because I got the hemp cream, which is similar, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
But
and do you feel that getting warm?
Oh, that's warm. Yeah. That hemp cream's warm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How odd. How
maybe,
strange.
Yeah. I think we just didn't secure it properly.
Yeah.
And that meant I didn't feel the heat as much.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Can't beat the heat.
Yeah, it was a skill issue.
Oh my God, it was a skill issue. But yeah, been pretty good. We cleaned the bathroom yesterday.
Yeah.
We had a bit of a... We washed the dog's little feet yesterday.
Yep.
He wasn't happy about
his
it.
Leg. Yeah. We had a big adult boring chore day yesterday, I have to be honest.
So we... I cleaned it out. I did the beginning of the shower, then you finessed it.
I finessed it.
I finessed it.
You're good at getting... Because it was bad.
Yeah,
like
it's
just like loads of lime scale.
Yeah, it's just like showers just get like that.
Yeah, it was really bad. So Jack's really good at being the muscle and getting all of it like dislodged. And then I go in and I do the finishing touches, like the grout and stuff like that, and the shower head, etc.
And then while you were doing that, I did the dishwasher and stuff downstairs. And did the dishes.
Washed the bedding, put the bedding back on. To be fair,
the dishwasher, we put the dishwasher on twice a week. We never let like pots and pans get bad. We just wash them after we're done.
Yeah.
So I did that. Yeah. And then we washed the dog's feet.
Yeah.
Which he was not happy about.
No.
Washed the bedding, which was nice.
Yep.
And
made
then
a roast dinner.
And
then ordered a delectable dessert.
Oh, delectable.
We ate well yesterday. There was a lot of boring adult
We were eating like royalty yesterday.
Yeah. I'm back in Silver 3 in Valorant.
Yeah, I told you. I said we're getting back in Silver 3.
Yeah, I'm back in. We played, 5 games, had 4 wins, 1 loss?
Yeah.
Is that right?
4 wins, 1 loss, yeah.
God, those maps were hard.
I'm telling you what, in the last game, 100% against the cheater.
100%. You know what? I have never been so certain.
Oh, it was 100% cheating.
I think that is the first time I've really genuinely believed we've played against a cheater.
Yeah, like 100% without a doubt.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell they were bad.
Yes.
Like, they weren't aware of their surroundings, but as soon as, like, they knew you were there, they just shoot their gun.
They could lock onto your head.
They would just flick round and, like, one-tap you from wherever they were.
It was strange. And you know what? There was a moment where it was it's with Valorant. It's a first-person shooter game, where the aim of the game is to shoot the other people.
Yeah.
And it was just me and my friend Wabs alive, and he was watching me from a far angle, and he was like, "Did you just see what that Harbour did?" And apparently, the Harbour had no idea where I was. He fell off one of the boxes and then 180 flicked to me and shot me in the head.
That's what. That's exactly how I died to the Harbour. They came out like mid, and I was like hiding in the corner, and they walked past, and I began to shoot, and as soon as they heard my gunfire, they just like 180 turned around whilst running, and your gun is completely inaccurate when you're running, and just click their gun once, hit me in the head.
And the thing is, you do get lucky shots. You do. Sometimes you do, but I mean, for it to happen every single time.
Maybe once a game you might get a lucky shot or something like that.
We definitely against that's.
We still beat them.
We did still beat them.
We did still beat
them. And there was another moment where it was just a mess. There was like smokes everywhere. You couldn't see anything. And I got like literally right up next to the Harbour. They didn't know I was there. I went to shoot them. I missed. And he once again 180'd, immediately killed me. And he was crouched on the floor behind a dirt mound.
I know.
So yeah, I'm not the type of person who's like, oh, they're cheating. But
100%.
Oh boy, they were cheating.
That Harbour was cheating.
Harbour
was cheating.
Whoa, I don't know if you heard that.
The dog coughed.
Oh goodness. That was a loud cough. Jeez.
But yeah, we still won, and Margaret's back in Silver 3.
I'm back in Silver 3!
We've been playing really well. We had a major comeback yesterday. We were 12-7 down in its first to 13. We were 12-7 down in Ascent. And then we won, obviously, 5 rounds in a row to get us up to 12.
Yeah.
And then we won the 2 overtime rounds. Oh,
I will say,
so good.
I am not the type of person to get tilted or angry or like non-verbal or rage in a game. I will say yesterday,
tilt fest.
I got tilted really badly, and that's not like me.
It isn't like you at all.
Like, I'm normally the person who I get annoyed, but I'm normally the person who's like, it's all right, or like has a laugh about it.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I had my ass handed to me in a way that hasn't happened in a long time.
It was tough.
Oh, it felt so bad.
It was. We're getting into hard games now.
Yeah,
so.
we are. So that's Valorant talk.
Yeah. So anyway, Valorant talk. We'd like to say,
hey, we're an award-winning Twitch channel.
We're an award-winning Twitch channel now.
We're an award-winning Twitch channel.
Thank you so much to everyone who voted for us, because we are the winners of the up-and-coming TTRPG, like best TTRPG up-and-coming Twitch channel.
Oh my gosh.
So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Wow. You know what? We actually managed to stay up and actually watch it. We're talking about the Crit Awards, by the way.
Yeah.
We actually managed to stay up and watch the live event. And when ours came up, first of all, they had guests on to host certain sections.
Yeah.
And Quincy,
Quincy
owned the Tavern Keep.
Yeah.
Quincy actually announced ours. So Quincy has said our podcast name,
Very cool.
which is really fucking cool, to be honest with you.
Cool, yeah.
And yeah.
So thank you to anyone who ever voted for us.
Oh my
Thanks
gosh.
to anyone who's ever watched us, like ever seen a stream, ever caught one. If that ain't enough to get you over to Twitch, I don't know what is.
Yeah, it's award-winning.
You'll be watching an award-winning stream.
Award-winning stream where we eat and make mouth noises.
Thank you so much to everyone who's ever enjoyed the stream, or ever participated, voted for us. Even if you don't watch and you voted for us, just because you like the podcast. Thank you so much.
You know what? It's like, the thing is, we were shocked, stunned, shitting, pissing, crying, throwing up.
The fact that we got nominated, we were buzzing.
Yeah. And then when it was read out and it was us, we were laying in bed. We both sat up.
Yeah.
We took photos.
Yeah.
We were like, we couldn't believe it. And you know what? It's strange because when it's you, when it's internal, it's easy to doubt yourself.
Yeah.
But in that moment, I was like, we should have never, ever doubted you. We should have never doubted
we might be
the
able to doubt
Squadblasters.
ourselves.
Yeah.
But, like,
should have never doubted you.
Never doubted you. Never doubted you for a second.
Never. We know for a fact you are our ride or dies. And you know, you voted for us so much that we won. And by the way, the sportsmanship in that stream in general was wonderful. A big shout out specifically to Roll D5, who was also in the same category as us, also nominated. Roll D5 was in there all night, and they were being so kind and so supportive and so sweet, and you know, individually congratulated us, which, you know, is just absolute sportsmanship.
100%. Yeah.
And there was so much love in that stream. It was so nice. There was so many people in there that I recognized. I was fangirling a little bit, and it was just a great atmosphere, and to be part of it and to be winners is wild.
Insane.
Wild, insane. Hey, we'll never doubt you. I promise. Going forward, we'll never doubt you ever again.
Winners. You've made us winners.
Award winners.
We can't thank you enough.
Do you think we can legally be like award-winning stream?
Yeah.
Now? Change all of our bio. Award-winning stream.
I'll put it in the Twitch bio, baby. Award-winning.
Oh, so thank you. Really, thank you. Goodness gracious me.
Thank you so much.
What a wonderful thing to take part in.
All jokes aside, thank you.
Indeed.
We truly appreciate it, because you're the reason we won.
Yeah, thank you.
We have nothing to do with it. Well, you know, we create the content.
Hey,
but
we sit here.
but you voted for us.
Yeah.
You know, like, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
But you did.
Yeah.
And the fact that you did meant we won.
Yep,
so
indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you
We really
very
feel
much.
the love every time
We do.
You do something like this.
Yeah, we do.
It makes us feel really special, so thank you.
Yeah, it does. And, you know, of course, thank you to the Crit Awards for hosting such a wonderful event.
Awesome event.
Thank you for just putting some positivity and some love in the TTRPG space. What that showed us is that there is so much love in the TTRPG community.
And there's just so many creators.
There's so many
many awesome
creators. And you know what? Some of the categories were things that I wouldn't have even thought of. It's like best soundscape, best Twitch overlay,
best like homebrew magic item.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like getting recognized for like good homebrew.
Absolutely.
Like being awarded for like a monster that you've created.
Yeah.
Best NPC in your game.
Best indie game. Like it you know what? It's so expansive.
Yeah. Best safety tools.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
It was honestly really
48 categories,
wonderful.
by the way.
Yeah. Incredible.
48 categories.
Yeah, it was great. So Crit Awards, thank you for hosting
Big
that.
Jeds.
Crit Awards is going to be back next year as well.
Let's go.
If we're lucky to be involved in any way, shape, or form, we would be honored.
Yeah.
And thank you, award-winning Twitch streamers.
Hello. That is us, the award-winning Twitch streamers.
Oh, well, with that, shall we move on to topic?
Thank you so much to all our patrons over at Patreon.
You have no idea how much we appreciate your support.
If you want to support us over at Patreon and gain access to our exclusive content,
like our D&D campaign updates and our extra monthly live streams,
click the link in the description. More about Patreon at the end of this video. Thank you.
Topic. So today we are... What are we doing today? We're doing Am I the Asshole D&D edition. Yes. Am I the Asshole D&D edition?
You told me before the stream.
I did.
Yeah.
So 2 of these are submissions. The rest are from the Reddit. If you have any D&D advice, no.
Nope.
D&D, am I the
asshole horror
asshole?
story, anything like that, get it down into the Google Doc down below.
Yes.
Join our Patreon if you want to support the podcast. It's the best way to support us. So there's a link to our merch down there as well, www.eldritchpodblast.co.uk. Patrons get 10% off. Come join us on Twitch come join us on our award-winning Twitch every Friday, Sunday, and every other Tuesday. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell. All that helps push out the video. Thank you so much for being here. And let's get it.
All right. So this first one, I'm phlegmy.
Oh, go on. Hock it up.
Hock two.
Hock two.
This has been sent in by TheVioletWitch, and he uses he, him pronouns.
Hey, thank you very much, TheVioletWitch.
Am I the arsehole for being upset that the players in my D&D group couldn't find the time to have a chat with me? For context, my party as a whole is incredibly new to playing D&D. We all enjoy it and we don't take it too seriously. I've been designated the DM naturally by the group because of my already standing interest in world building and fantasy games as a whole.
Sounds fair.
I really enjoy DMing and I always like to go the extra mile for my players. We're about to start a new campaign which I've written myself and lasts about the length of a Baldur's Gate 3 campaign,
Cool.
including 40 to 45 specifically made weapons and armor, plus personal character quests for each of the players that they could find, as well as treating the campaign like an open world video game, giving the players complete freedom to do whatever else they wanted in the storyline. I finally finished the campaign where we could start playing. I gave the players a brief summary of how the campaign starts, and I gave them a deadline to finish making their characters so I'd have time to write in their personal character quests that I had mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
None of them created their characters until the last minute, where I had to be on voice chat and basically babysit them while they created their characters. One of the party members couldn't get it done by the deadline, and they said they just didn't have time. There have been multiple times where the entire group has been playing Overwatch, and when I bring it up, they say they couldn't be bothered and they will do it tomorrow. We finally got the characters made after a bit, but it's left a sour taste in my mouth, and I'm feeling underappreciated as a whole. I have spent months working on the campaign for them, and then they couldn't be bothered to spend more than an afternoon doing the one thing that I needed from them. Am I the arsehole for being upset with them? Should I have gauged their interest before putting in all that effort? Your thoughts would be super helpful. Thank you.
No, you're not the asshole. It's a tough one because not saying that I've felt like this before, but I do put a lot of effort and I do put a lot of like time aside to plan my campaign. And, you know, like some people do get things to me like day before and stuff like that. And you sort of, it's that thing, you know, that when that guy's at the party and they're like, these people don't know how much effort I put into this campaign.
They don't know I beat the Lich King.
Yeah, and stuff like that. It's like, it's tough because you can't make anyone care about something the same amount that you can.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, it's tough because the example here is Matthew. Matthew always gets his backstory to me super late.
Yeah.
It's not because he doesn't care. He loves the campaign.
Yeah.
He lives and dies by it.
Well, not this time, by the way.
Not this time.
Not this time, by the way.
We haven't even finished this campaign. He's already told me about his next character concept.
Yeah.
And, like, this is the thing. It's taken halfway through our third campaign for Matthew to be like, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean he cares any less.
No.
Every time he turns up, he's
all.
engaged and he loves it and he like talks about it at work and talks about it to all his friends and stuff like that. He like loves it.
Yeah, he is like your number one fan, apart from me.
But just because they didn't get the things to you by the deadline doesn't mean they don't care.
Yeah.
Like, this is the thing. We all care about things to different degrees. Like, to me, I would get something if I'm playing in a campaign and I know we're playing in a campaign, I go home that night, I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about my character build, I'll make it, I'll send it, I'll start talking to the Dungeon Master because I'm excited. But there's a lot of people who are just excited to be at this session. They don't care about the things before, they see it as homework, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can't make people care about something to the degree that you do.
Yeah.
But I completely understand where you are coming from.
Yeah, like, and you know, the thing is, right, all of it, I could have actually probably given the players some benefit of the doubt up until TheVioletWitch said, then they said they couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, that's not cool.
That's not cool.
That's not nice.
Like, they're obviously stating their intent there. Things like if you see people playing games, for some people, playing games is just the way they spend their free time.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think something important to factor into this is the fact that everyone is brand new to D&D.
Yeah.
So your players probably... Well, they don't understand the crux of D&D yet.
Yeah.
They don't understand how, if you want it to be, this game can be such a life-changing thing for you, right?
And how in-depth it can go in the campaign.
Exactly. They don't understand that you can do whatever you want in this world. You can be whatever you want in this world. I think this is a perfect example of a session 0 would have been great for all of you.
Yeah.
And when I say session 0, I mean like a character creation session 0.
Yes. Yeah.
You all putting time aside and going, okay, this date, this time, it sounds like you do it online. We'll put some music on, we'll all get together, we'll talk about our characters.
Yeah.
And me as the DM, I'm here for any questions that you have.
Yeah.
It sounds like, in a way, you ended up having to do this because you say, I had to be in a voice chat and basically babysit them. To which I say, I'm not surprised you had to babysit them because they're brand new.
Yeah.
And there is so much to character creation.
Character creation's hard.
Like, really, really, like, oh my gosh.
Complicated.
When we started, Matthew did exactly this for us. Matthew got all of us together in a room and he went, okay, well, here's a character sheet. I'm going to run you through everything and you're going to build your characters with me as you go. And we needed that.
When me and Margaret build Margaret's character, like we will sit together and think about all sorts of different options and be like, oh, but this could work and that could work.
I put together a spreadsheet with bullet points of multi-classes and levels.
And, like different stats in different places, different skills, different feats. And things like that. And then we just sort of work it out together of like what we think is the best for her to play.
Yeah.
So it's just, and we're very seasoned players.
Yeah.
Like very, very seasoned players.
So
and we still do that together.
But be prepared to have to babysit these players far more going into it.
And the thing is, if they're brand new, they won't understand what goes into it. They won't understand like how much them writing the backstory. When we played for our first time, literally nobody at our table, when Matthew was dungeon mastering for us, wrote a backstory but me.
Yeah.
Like nobody.
I had no backstory.
And people didn't have backstory until months into the game.
And that's coming from me now, who I
love
backstory. I wouldn't dream of not. And I think potentially the Violet Witch, the frustration from the I had to babysit them, no one made their characters, and not having a session 0 set up is probably an experience thing on your end as well. You're all incredibly new to playing D&D. I think that is just a sign of inexperience. And that you're not, how would you know that? How would you know that those are things that should be done? You don't know until you've kind of put yourself through the ringer. Because I am sure now, the Violet Witch, if you did this again, you probably would be like, oh, let's do this.
Session 0, block out a couple of hours, get some characters made.
I think this is just teething issues.
100%.
And people not understanding kind of the gravity of things.
And also probably not understanding the level that you have put in. You know? You have, I imagine you haven't gone, hey, I've made you guys like 50 like bespoke magic items and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I've spent literally months on this.
Yeah, it's like, as Dungeon Masters, we do that because we like doing that.
Yeah.
But, I think if they maybe saw the levels that you went to,
totally,
they'd probably be like, I could put 45 minutes aside to write out a backstory.
And, I can only imagine how terrible it must feel. You going, I'm going to do personal quests for you. Like I'm going to do backstory arcs for you. So give me your backstories. And people going, nah. When
I'm
you're
playing
like,
Overwatch.
I can't be bothered. And you're going, well, I'm doing this for you because I want you to have a good time. Like that feels kind of like biting the hand that feeds, right?
I mean, at the same time, it's like we can sit there and paint it as I'm only just doing it for you. But us Dungeon Masters do it because we're storytellers.
Of course.
There's a want from us. But it does feel a little stinky.
Of course. It's that feeling like when you're... sorry.
No, go on.
Like when you're trying to help someone and they just shrug you off and you're like, well, damn, I'm just trying to help you.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm putting in all of this and you're putting in nothing. It just feels bad. So, look, are you the asshole? Absolutely not.
No. You're so valid
in
being upset about that.
Yeah. Like, I totally get it. Session 0 next time. Like, block out some time altogether where we can do it. Maybe after they've seen the campaign like play out, they'll begin to be, this is probably why you needed a backstory. Yeah. It's like when it gets incorporated into the world, and like that place that you lived at and was mentioned in the backstory comes up, or that NPC comes up, or that object comes up, or that staff comes up that you wrote into your backstory, they begin to go, huh.
Yeah, exactly.
This is why you needed it.
And you say here, like, we all enjoy it. We don't take it too seriously. It actually sounds like now is a pivot for that, right?
Yeah,
it sounds like now is when you're like, right, let's get our teeth into a proper big campaign.
Yeah.
And maybe your players just, they only have XYZ experience of it. They don't know that there's the other side of the coin yet. I think this is very much an expectations thing. And you're not the asshole.
And like, it is totally fine for you to want to take it more seriously.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, if you have a passion for DMing and have a passion for storytelling and creating things, and you want to, and they're like, I still just want it to be like, let's just smash some goblins and eat some pizza. It's like then we're starting to realize a difference in playstyle. I'm not saying that's it, but if that's all they're used to, and then they've got you as a dungeon master who's going in this complete other direction, I can't blame them because they just maybe didn't know. Yeah,
indeed. No, I don't think you're the asshole.
I don't think anyone's the asshole.
No.
I think that they could have just got it done by the deadline.
I agree.
Like,
I very much agree.
I feel like that wasn't too much to ask.
But then again, if they have no idea what the fuck they're doing and they're like, they've just been told, oh, just do this, and then they're like, I fucking don't know how to do this. But then again, they should have said.
Yeah.
They should have said.
I don't know what a backstory is.
Yeah, they absolutely should have said.
They should have just been like, I don't know what a backstory is.
Yeah,
100%. I don't think anyone's the asshole here, but I think if anyone was, it was definitely the players more.
I think this is just a lack of understanding and expectations and communication. Honestly, I don't think anyone's the asshole.
I completely agree.
Thank you very much for your submission, TheVioletWitch. Thank you. All right, this next one has been sent in by Anonymous, and they use they, them pronouns.
Thank you very much, Anonymous.
Am I the asshole for reminding a player about their abilities? Hi, Jack and Margaret, long-time listener, first-time submitter. I wanted to check if I'm the asshole here, as I had a dispute with our group, and I wanted to check in with both of you, or where people fall on this. In our Curse of Strahd campaign, our barbarian character, while in rage, had a strength check, and in rolling for this, forgot they had advantage while raging.
Yeah.
So I mentioned, do barbarians not have advantage on strength checks while raging? The DM... to the DM, just in a hope to support them. I got instantly and harshly shut down, being told I'm playing their character, that it's metagaming, and if they forget their abilities, then they just forget them. I clarified I was just trying to help, but as a newer player, I've only really played one-shots before, where I was a barbarian. I was genuinely just helping, and I apologized to the player if that's how they felt, but it was not. But I want to know where people stand on this, if it's a DM or campaign-specific thing. I would love to hear your thoughts, as it's put me off helping in future with the reaction that I got, and I actually feel like an asshole and a bit uncomfortable. Thank you for your help.
So just to confirm, it was the Dungeon Master that shut you down
I think so. I can't tell, because OP said this to the DM.
Yeah.
And then they got harshly shut down.
But at the end, it says, is this just a DM thing?
Yeah.
Right.
If it's like a DM or a campaign-specific thing. So I'm getting the vibe it's the DM.
I'm going to sit here and assume, because that's all I can do,
that
it's the Dungeon Master.
DM. Yeah.
So, your Dungeon Master is an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, full stop. Like, your Dungeon Master is an asshole. In this moment, like, look, Josh is the MVP at our table.
He's a brain cell. Hey,
because
he's a brain cell.
There's so many times where we forget. Like, people forget they have advantage. People forget that they get to re-roll a 1 on this dice.
Forget about concentration checks.
Forget everything. Oh, by the way, remember you took Warcaster, so you've got advantage.
Everything.
And they're like, oh my god, yeah.
Yep.
And like, your Dungeon Master would despise Josh, but I don't hate Josh at all.
Yeah.
And Josh makes you all succeed more.
Absolutely.
Because he reminds you of things that you have, abilities that you have, ways to like succeed that you have because of your subclass, because of magic items and things like that. Like, what this says to me is, barbarian, make me an athletics check. Barbarian rolls in rage, once, fails. Dungeon Master's like, I win. And then the player goes, hey, doesn't barbarians get advantage on athletics checks in rage? And then the Dungeon Master's like, shut up. Because they're upset that they might have a chance to succeed.
And if they forget their abilities, they forget them. I think that is just such a terrible argument.
What a toxic way to play.
Why on earth would you want your players to forget the abilities that belong to them.
Yeah. It's like I took this class and I play this class to get all of its abilities. Like me playing by the rules that somebody's just reminded me of. You don't want that.
Yeah, you don't want me to play by the rules?
Because what?
Like, you don't want me to have my best foot going forward?
Because you want me to fail.
Yeah, I agree.
You
like,
do not have my best intentions at heart and you want me to fail.
That's honestly what it's feeling like. Now, I could understand this reaction a little more if it was something like a roleplay decision, right? If OP was trying to talk for someone in a roleplay situation, I could understand at that point the DM being like, "No, you're acting as this character," but not.
But let's just say you're an eloquence bard,
yeah,
right? And then you get that thing where you can't roll under. It's basically like reliable talent, for charisma checks or something like that. And then the eloquence bards in the moment rolling, they fail, and then somebody goes, "Hey, you have that thing where you can't roll below this."
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I'm getting you, but like if we're 1-for-1 equating.
Oh yeah,
it's like
no, yeah.
We would be applying mechanics to roleplay, which is exactly what that would be.
Sorry, I meant in a situation where like if someone was like, "I'm gonna go talk to the king," and then the player's like, "No, you're not gonna go talk to the king."
Yeah, that's just bullshit.
I can understand the DM at that point stepping in this harshly to this level,
and like you're playing the character. Stop
yeah,
it.
I can understand like a harsh level of that, but not the barbarian has advantage on strength checks when they're raging.
What the fuck's up with that? Why are you so upset that they've been reminded of something that their class does?
And by the way OP said this, because we always say your intent matters. The way they've gone, "Oh, do barbarians not have advantage on strength checks while raging?" Yeah. Like, there is a
nice way to say it.
Yeah.
What a nice way to say it.
That's the right way to say it. Like, because again, you could be like, "I can't believe you forgot." After the fact, barbarians actually have advantage. That's a horrible way to do it, right? Yeah. Oh my god, OP, no, you are not the asshole.
No way.
Absolutely not. You were genuinely just trying to help.
Like, let's just say in that moment, the barbarian rolls with just a straight dice and fails, and they're like, "No, you idiot! You've got advantage." It's like
exactly.
That would be the wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
But being like, "Hey, just a gentle reminder, like when you're raging, you get advantage on them, so roll again."
I think honestly, being like, "Oh, do you not have advantage?" That is such a perfect way to do it.
Like the best way to say it.
That's the best way to do it. And no. By the way, no, this isn't normal. Like, your DM should not ever be angry at you for using your kit to the best of their abilities, because oh my god, everyone forgets things. There's so much to remember about a class, a subclass, a race, feats, magic items, spells. There's so much to remember, and everyone takes in information differently.
Yeah. And I just can't understand why you as a dungeon master would take this with such offense. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I know.
I just don't get it. Like, if
they forget, they forget.
That is such a bad mentality.
That's horrible.
You should want your players to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
You should want to impose challenges to them, for them to roll the dice with their best foot forward. And if they fail, look, they fail. Like, that's fine. But if they succeed, it's like, yes, we did it. Like, everyone together. You're creating a DM versus player divide. You're putting a divide in between you and the players at the table, because they are now realizing that you don't want them to succeed.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want them to remember their abilities. You want them to forget so that you can win. And that's just a dreadful mindset.
I completely agree. No, Anonymous, you are not the asshole. Your DM is 100% the asshole here. There is nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with reminding your friends of their things if they've forgotten.
Yeah, 100%.
They'd want to know, and it's in their kit. It's there. They can do it. Like, forget. It isn't this gotcha moment.
It's just, remember, there's a lot of rules in this game. We've got textbooks of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages to remember all of the rules. Like, you will forget something. There's not a single game that has ever gone by in this entire world where somebody's got everything right every single time.
Nope.
We forget things.
I wonder if you can hear the dog rolling around.
I hope he doesn't knock the camera.
He's
close. Nah, he's alright.
You know what? Between us and you, there's maybe 5 feet, if that.
And he just sits in it and just rolls.
And he rolls around the whole perimeter of the 5 feet.
On his back.
Just know there's a dog rolling around right here.
Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. Nope.
Absolutely no way.
Nope.
You should do that. That's good.
Agreed.
It's like gentle, friendly, polite reminders. Oh, hey, I think you get this, by the way, because of your class. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Josh does it at my table every session.
And we need it. And we want to know.
Everyone fucking congratulates him when he does
Completely. Absolutely.
Dreadful mentality.
All right. These next ones are from the Reddit.
Very good.
So this next one is, I recently just started playing Dungeons & Dragons, and I learned about metagaming. For anyone who doesn't know, and to my best understanding, metagaming is basically making personal choices based on information your character wouldn't actually know.
Yeah, I would
think
say
that's a great example.
Pretty accurate description.
For example, if someone in your party had something happen to them while your character wasn't around, but you as a player hear the story unfold through the other player and the dungeon master, you can't make decisions with your character based off that information. That would be metagaming. Yeah, I think that's a good description.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Anyway, long story short, in order for me to not metagame, I simply don't listen to anyone at the table when my character isn't in the scene. It's not that I don't care, but it's easier for me to not metagame when I literally don't know anything. Whenever the dungeon master is doing his thing, of course I tune in, but otherwise I'm out. Sometimes I scroll on my phone, but most of the time when I'm reading up on my moves and character, because I don't want to make a fool of myself when it's my turn, since I'm playing with experienced people. There's 6 of us altogether, the DM and 5 players. 3 people really have a problem. They say I'm being disrespectful and I clearly only care about myself. Whenever I do anything in the narrative for my character, they make remarks like, makes sense, basically calling me selfish or whatever else in the situation calls for. In my opinion, the game has been much better for me as far as the story goes because I am blind making decisions. They disagree and they say it's all about table etiquette. My DM and one other player don't care either way, and my DM says we should all be able to play the way that works for us. But their snarky comments are talking loud when it's their turn, and my character isn't around and I'm not listening is kind of getting to me. I don't know if it's just me or I'm just not getting the hang of not metagaming. It's difficult as hell. Or maybe I'm just stupid. So am I the arsehole for not listening as a way to avoid the metagaming problem? Or do I need to just swallow it and just listen to everything? Additionally,
okay,
would I be the arsehole if I asked my DM to just write me out of the game? Being hounded is making the game less fun for me. They also keep making decisions that are basically ways to bully my character in the game, like not picking up extra supplies for me, or bringing back food or whatever and then playing it off as something else. I'm the one they wanted to get the party together to begin with, so I feel like quitting would make everyone feel like it was a waste of time, and they would be proven right in a way that I am selfish. What do you think? Please help.
Oh my God. What a weird thing to do, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think that... Do you want to know what? I actually almost feel bad for Obi at the end there, because
Me too, I do.
The
as
thing
well.
is, like... This isn't the right way to go about not metagaming.
No.
The way that you go about not metagaming is you listen to everything, because
but you
that's
just don't make decisions based on it.
and just say out loud, I'm worried I'm going to metagame because of knowledge I don't have.
Yeah.
Can you just keep me right?
Yeah, and if I
just,
do,
just let me know.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
I'm just really worried about it and I don't want to do it. Can you just tell me, hey, you're metagaming, don't do that?
Which, by the way, very valid.
Totally fine.
Very valid.
Nobody's going to fucking knock you for doing that. Nobody's going to have a go at you for for being like, please keep me right.
Yeah, totally.
I'm really worried about doing it.
Totally.
But instead, just not listening to anyone at all.
And then going on your phone. And I get it. I get that OP is like...
I understand the intent.
Yeah.
But I think the execution is just wrong.
And I get that OP is like, well, it's making the game for me far more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Because I'm just making blind decisions. However, it's a group game. It's a collaborative
storytelling game.
You work as a party.
Yeah.
Then let's say they're like, okay, we're going to sneak in here and then we're going to get in this room and we're going to take the thing and we're not going to alert any of the guards and we're going to get out. And this player hasn't listened to any of this and they just go in all guns blazing and completely ruin the plan for everyone. Which, by the way, is such a likely thing to happen in a situation like this.
Yeah.
That would be so fucking frustrating.
They probably wouldn't even know why they're going in. Oh, we need to go in and get this thing to do with somebody's backstory. It's like, you wouldn't even know because you chose not to listen to anyone. Yeah. Like, I get it. I understand the intent.
I do.
The execution is bad though, and I think like we said, the way to do it is, hey, just slap my wrists if I'm metagaming and just let me know that I'm like doing it wrong. Don't even slap my wrist, just let me know and I can just not do it. But the problem is here, instead of everyone just being like, hey, this isn't good. Like, you should probably be listening to everyone because everyone listens to you, and it's just respect, and it's a collaborative storytelling game.
And actually explaining why it's detrimental,
But
right?
instead, now we're just getting toxic. Now we're just like, we all went to pick up supplies and we just didn't get in uni because of reasons.
Well, you know what? Two wrongs don't make a right.
They don't make a right.
You know? Like,
And
I'm going to sound like a boomer, but they don't.
Two wrongs don't make a right. And like we always say, like you always say every single time, every day, conversation is not confrontation.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't like something that someone's doing, just have a chat with them. It doesn't have, if they take it bad and then an argument starts, it's like they've made it confrontational, not you. This
is such a mess, to be
honest. It's a mess.
And like, I think this whole situation is the knock-on effect of rhetoric, probably on the internet,
on Reddit,
of like, oh, metagaming person does this, and then obviously OP, who has said that they're new to D&D, has heard this, and they're like, I need to stay away from this. This is the worst thing I can possibly do.
People are going to kick me out of their games.
Yeah, and it's really not as black and white as that. And I also think it's all about execution.
Yeah, 100%.
And, you know, what one person considers metagaming isn't metagaming to another person, to another person, to another person, to another person. Yeah. People would say some of the things that we do at the table probably are metagaming, but we don't mind.
Yeah, and there's times at our table where, like, let's just say you'll be like, oh, yeah, Dale, this thing, and then everyone will be like, I don't think you know that, and you'll go, oh, yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Forget I said it.
Yeah.
It's just like, look, we met a game unintentionally by accident so many times because we are at the table. Yeah, right, babe.
Sorry, his leg was a bit stanky.
Because when we are at the table and information gets shown to everyone, but it's actually just being shown to one character.
Yeah.
We know it. Jack knows it. You, Margaret, knows it. Yeah. But your characters don't. And then it's really, really, especially if weeks go by.
That's what I was going to say. If it's been a long time, there's so many times where we go to say them, we're like,
I don't think I actually know that. Yeah.
And then we have to be like, were you? Or we were like, would we have said that? Because the signs are showing that I did, but I don't remember saying it.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's again
just keeping each other right.
Just an experience and a trust thing. I think I mean, there is an edit. Do you want to hear the update to this?
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? I actually do really feel for OP.
I feel for OP because if they're a new player who's been scared of online rhetoric about metagaming and they've gone into the game thinking they're doing the right thing, and then
terrible
not being told they're doing the right thing, they're actually doing the wrong thing, and instead of being told, they're just getting punished.
Yeah,
I feel bad for him.
Yeah, Update. So we had another session 0. It went well. Basically, it came to a lack of proper explanation on everyone's part.
Yeah.
Our DM has also committed to a more solid storyline instead of doing mission board adventures so we can rearrange the group dynamics a bit. There were apologies and accountabilities. Thank you guys for helping me put things into a different perspective and understand where they were coming from. It actually really helped.
Oh, good.
We ended up even playing for a few hours. The 2 guys that would go off and not bring me anything back found a reason to run off one last time, and they brought my character back a bunch of cool stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
My character made a point to sit and talk with the other characters and really learn about them. Social interaction in real life is hard for me, but I'm trying to learn how to be better through this experience.
And that's what we call a W.
And that's what we call growth.
That's what we call a big fat W.
Absolutely.
Here on the podcast.
This is a perfect example of how just having a conversation about it.
Would you believe it? Communication.
Can fix, you know, I'm not going to say everything, and we don't know how it went after this.
The major problem.
The major problem, to the point where people apologize. Yeah. The DM even was like, you know what? I'm going to maybe change the format a little bit to make it easier for everyone. Accountabilities, understanding each other's perspectives, and then in game, the other 2 being like, we're going to go get you some treats.
We're going to go get you them supplies. And like, this is it. And, you know, maybe we forgot to say, but, you know, it's the same for them. Like, communications broke down everywhere because they didn't explain why they weren't listening.
Yeah.
And maybe if they had just said, hey, I'm not listening to anyone because I don't want to metagame, everyone could have gone, whoa. And explained
well, you don't have to do that.
Probably what you've been explained to on Reddit.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, as to why, like, you know, we all want to be heard.
Yeah.
You know, we all have stories to tell.
Yeah.
We all listen to each other because that's how we form bonds, and that's how we form a party, and
I
we
agree.
care about each other.
I agree. I am so glad it worked out. This was clearly a communication thing.
100%.
Clearly. And the fact that things like this, because it felt really bad at the end.
Yeah.
OP being like, I want to leave. Like, they're upsetting me so much.
How do I get him to write me out?
Yeah. And then it being turned around by having one conversation. It shows the power of just healthy communication.
100%.
I'm glad for the whole table.
I'm very glad.
Yeah, I really hope that this is continued to go this way, and going forward they have the D&D experience that they all want and deserve.
It went from everyone was the asshole to nobody's the asshole.
I completely agree.
Love that.
Me too. I love that. I love a good edit. I love a good update.
I love a good update.
Yeah.
Very good.
All right, this next one is: did I go too far with my D&D character trying to kill a party member's new character? So this happened over a year ago, and I have since left the group. So me and my party were doing a modified D&D campaign, and it was just sci-fi D&D pretty much. I am a person who plays very true to the character, and I hate metagaming, and everyone in the group knew that. As a bit of context to start off, my character had some pretty serious backstory things that were very much talked over with the DM and some other characters in private. To cut the backstory short, my character was part of a planet that was destroyed by the Warforged and was one of the few survivors of the planet. After that, the Warforged disappeared and lost stuff. So when one player who was notorious for just abandoning characters if he got bored did it again, and this time he chose to be a Warforged. It was a session-long mystery to find him inside the sphere we found in space. When we found him inside, my character immediately ordered his crew to unload their guns into it. He was the captain of the ship. And when the players refused and the DM said the crew didn't, my character did. After the person playing the character proceeded to yell at me about how I didn't respect him and called me an asshole. I retorted to him that he knew this would happen because he knew the backstory, and he told me I took my character too seriously. After this, him and two of his friends started boycotting the campaign and didn't vote for it on my campaign. It was a shitty system, unless I was kicked from it. And he also kicked me from his campaign. This and some other issues eventually led to me leaving the group. So I am here to ask after the fact if I went too far here and I took my character too seriously, or was I justified in doing this? Please feel free to ask any questions. I will expand as best as I can, etc.
Oh, man. Like, the thing is, I get maybe the initial reaction.
Yes.
I do actually get the initial reaction.
Same.
Your entire planet was destroyed by Warforged.
Mm-hmm. And Warforged have disappeared.
And Warforged have just disappeared. And suddenly you find a Warforged.
Yeah.
Your gut reaction is yeah, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
They murdered my entire colony.
Yeah,
I get it. Like, my entire planet. I get it. I'm going to do it. But the thing is, where it breaks down, and this is where it always breaks down when it comes to really not opinionated, really, like, heavy beliefs. Like, I hate Warforged because of this. It's like when somebody else is clearly playing a Warforged, there is a bridge for you two, both of you on both ends, to explore a deep character roleplay where this person actually realizes that it's not all Warforged. It was just the Warforged that destroyed that planet. And
there's nuance in everything. There's
nuance to everything. But, your initial reaction, I get it. Their initial reaction of, like, calling you an asshole and stuff like that for doing it, I don't know. I don't think, like, I feel like there's just been a complete breakdown in communication yet again. It's just like...
Yeah, and I kind of feel for OP because, obviously they were kicked from the game because of it. Again, it's hard to judge on that because we have no idea if this was a pattern, basically, right? And I think OP being like, well, you knew my backstory and you know I'm really serious and I hate metagaming. I don't think that's a good enough excuse to want to try and kill someone's new character who's just come in.
You should understand that it's a new character.
Exactly.
It's not an NPC.
Yeah.
It's a character.
It's a player character. And
so I get, like, maybe you do turn the guns on them, but you don't shoot or something like that. Like, that really, like, intense moment
Yes.
of this standoff.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
you give them the mercy because you as a person understands
and
that
this,
it's another player.
This is where you have to suspend your disbelief. I'm not going to say metagaming.
You have to suspend your disbelief. I completely agree.
I do not believe that this situation calls for metagaming. I don't believe that you as a player being like, oh God, my character hates Warforged, but for the sake of my friend, they're not going to kill them.
Yeah.
I don't think that's metagaming. I think that's suspending your disbelief.
I agree.
And all having to buy in to a certain level to make sure that things move forward.
Yeah.
Because what would have been the alternative here? If OP had killed this person's character, where do you go from there?
Where do you go from there?
And you've spent all session trying to find this person because you're suspending your disbelief in that regard. You're like, oh yeah, they're bringing in a new character.
We got to find them.
Like, if they weren't a Warforged, you could have suspended your disbelief and been like, oh yeah, there's this new stranger who's just joining our established party. Like, you know.
So why does suspending the disbelief stop right there?
Yeah, and the thing is, I do actually understand where OP is coming from. I don't want to sound like I'm not, but there's ways to do it. There's ways to actually pull your gun out and put it against their head, and then be able to be talked down and be like, well, this is warning, and I don't trust you, but you're lucky I'm having mercy on you and walking away.
I can just see it, like. The guns to the head, the rest of the party talks them down, and it's just like, just so you know, I don't trust you. And I can just see it like a movie.
Yeah.
You are down and out, and you're on your like last death save, and then this person puts their life on the line for you, and then you come back to consciousness.
Nobody
and
gives a fuck.
Nobody. Fire buckle comes in.
I've been liberated. Over medicated.
And then, but I mean, it's just like they put their life on the line for you, and then you realize, oh my god, it's not all Warforged. And then this like enemies to lovers art comes in, you know, like, and you become like the strongest bond in the party because of what you've been through.
Absolutely.
And it's just like, we didn't give it that. We didn't even give it the chance. It didn't even get off the fucking ground.
Yeah, I agree.
But the thing is, I think both of maybe are a little bit at fault.
Yeah.
Like, you got to understand that this person is probably going to act negatively to you. Of course, that's the whole backstory of theirs. But at the same time, like, you should have let it go in that moment. Like, when the gun should have came down. You should have stopped.
And I think if the other player truly did know this person's backstory, because there's no way to confirm that or not.
Yeah.
If they truly did know this, you have to have a lot of trust in the people around you to not be doing it maliciously.
Yeah.
Right? This happens in our group, let's say. This exact situation. My back character hates Warforged. And then Abby comes in as a Warforged. I would trust Abby in that situation to not be doing it maliciously and to be doing it for a reason. And you as the DM would trust us to be able to navigate it. Yeah. But that
comes, know that there's not just going to be instant like fights to the death and stuff like that.
But that comes, I think, with experience.
And trust.
With trust. And, you know, I think OP's saying, you know, this player is notorious for just abandoning characters if they get bored. You know, it sounds like maybe there was something underlying anyway.
I agree.
I am assuming, of course.
We're assuming, and, you know, I think both parties are to blame.
Yeah.
Because I think if that is true, this person is just like, I'm bored of this character, I'm going to bring a new one in. What is to say that they wouldn't just do it to try and push buttons?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to make a new character, and the new character is going to be, like, rife to just piss you off.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like they might have done that, but at the same time, I feel like there should have been a line drawn in the sand at that moment where you should have been like, okay, my gun comes down.
Yep, I agree.
So I think everyone's asshole here.
Yeah, I'm leaning more into OP's the
I
asshole
am leaning
here.
more into OP.
I do feel for them though because they were kicked from the group.
Yeah, I think OP is more of the asshole, but I can see a world
absolutely
where the other person did it.
Me too.
Intentionally.
Yeah, me too.
But we don't have all that context, so we're just stabbing in the dark.
I agree. All right, this is the penultimate. This is the second to last.
Okay.
This is a pretty short one. The title is Am I Being Unreasonable? I'm part of a pretty long-term campaign group with my partner and his friends. For the most part, I really enjoy playing with everyone, but we've hit a bit of an issue recently. I've had some mental health issues, and quite frankly, I'm near enough dead in my feet with how burnt out I feel in general.
So far.
So this is the second week in a row I've had to cancel with a group, and I'm being treated pretty passively aggressively for it. I've given 5 days notice, and our DM is acting like it's last minute. Add in the fact we have an insanely unreliable player who quite often just doesn't show up without a word about it. yet doesn't get the same sort of treatment because, well, that's just how they are.
Well, that's not good, is it? That's not fair.
For some reason, our DM hates the idea of not playing for a week. We play every Friday, so throws a bit of a tantrum until someone else agrees to run a one-shot instead. So I'm faced with passive-aggressive nonsense until they get near enough what they want, which leaves me feeling like I'm somehow in the wrong for needing a break because of my mental health is a bit of a mess and I just need time to sort it out. Am I wrong for giving notice and wanting a break to sort my own head out?
No, absolutely
Oh
not.
my god,
Your dungeon
no.
master's just a complete nut of cock.
Yeah. Oh my, no. How many times do we say it? It is such a emotional, mental, self-involved game.
Yeah.
It's so normal to get burnt out of D&D.
And like the thing is as well, like D&D is D&D. Hey, it's a game. Hey, why do we play games?
Yeah, to have fun.
And if you can't even bring yourself to want to play D&D, you shouldn't force yourself to do it. You should never force yourself to do it. And it is a social commitment. You will be seeing people. You will be speaking to people.
Exactly.
And if you want to do nothing but just sort of like lay down and watch TV, lay down and watch something on YouTube or something like that, and just like completely decompress, that's fine. 5 days notice, by the way.
5 days
if
notice?
If you play it every Friday, that means you gave them it on Sunday or Monday.
Yeah, 2 days after you last played. Like, you know, I think there's this kind of guilt around, I love D&D. Oh, it's my favorite thing to do. I love playing the game. And when you get burnt out, there's this guilt of, why am I feeling
Why
like
don't
this?
I want to play?
Why don't I want to play the game that I love so much? But it's so normal. Burnout affects people differently.
Yeah, 100%.
You can be burnt out in a totally different aspect of your life and still not want to play D&D.
Yeah.
You can still love D&D and be burnt out from it. That's totally fine and normal and valid.
Look at me. I've got a podcast about it. I Twitch stream about it. Award-winning Twitch stream about it. I love D&D, but fuck me, I've been burnt out from it before.
Same.
Sometimes you just need a week off.
Sometimes you need to just not socially interact with people as well.
You just need to sit on your own and play Baldur's Gate.
100%.
Sit on your own and do fucking nothing. Just bring yourself back, because burnout is real. And if we just try and push through the burnout,
you're just
going to get more
worse.
burnout, and it's just never going to change.
Absolutely.
And the fact that there is a player that doesn't say anything, nobody cares.
That's just how they are.
That's just how they are. It's just like, well, that's not okay.
That's unacceptable.
Hey, how about that? Hey, did you ever think that that's not okay for them to be like that for everybody else's sake?
Yeah.
But it's just who they are. It's just such a cop-out. It's just an absolute cop-out.
Yeah, I hate that. When bad behavior is expected and then they're like, oh, it's fine. So then someone who has never exhibited these behaviors before
and then give
does
them
it.
5 days notice.
And then they're penalized for it. Yeah, I you know what? Man, this is such a fucking boomer take. To be like, you need time off because you're not feeling well. Like, yeah, no fucking shit. Like, in our Lord year 2024, burnout and mental health is something that is so normalized. I'm
100%.
surprised that this is the reaction.
It's just a fucking boomer take.
Yeah,
it's just an absolute boomer take. This person is mentally boomed. It's just ridiculous. To have this fucking shit-ass opinion.
And like to clearly communicate that, hey, I'm having some mental health issues. I'm burnt out. I'm going to take some time off, instead of making an excuse.
Yeah, instead of being honest, instead of making an excuse about it, because it would be easier to make an excuse because you wouldn't get this lambasted.
I agree. It's even more upsetting when you're honest and someone still gives you shit
100%.
for it. Do not let anyone give you shit for wanting to take time for yourself
100%.
in any situation. D&D, outside of D&D, don't ever let anyone. It's okay to need time for yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
It's normal. Everyone needs time for themselves. Even our boomer fucking parents. The couple of hours they spend on a night with a glass of wine watching TV is their time.
That's how they decompress.
Yeah, and they may not realize that that's what it is, but it is.
Yeah, 100%.
So don't let anyone tell you.
Don't anyone ever tell you that your mental health and your mental burnout and stuff like that isn't a good enough reason.
Selfish.
It's selfish.
That's so selfish to be like, no, we have to play D&D. That's so selfish.
Why do we have to?
Yeah.
Why don't we just
my
have a week
God.
off?
Hey, just play without this person.
Yeah.
Like,
kick the DM.
Yeah. Absolutely not the asshole. The DM's totally the asshole.
100%.
Absolutely. All right. This is the last one. This is the final. This is the
final.
The ultimate.
This is the final. No, I'm not gonna do that because we'll get copyright.
Is my DM being unreasonable? One of the biggest assets of my character as a spellcaster focused on conjuration is the ability to have animals / fae / elementals appear into the table, but my DM does not let me use them. He takes control over the creatures and I don't get a say on it. And before you say it, I'm not talking about breaking concentration and then losing control over them. The way I have always done it and seen it been done by anybody at my tables was the caster choosing to have the creatures behave because the spell I am referring to, which is Conjure Animal or Fae, do say it obeys any verbal command that you issue to them, no action required by you.
Mm-hmm.
And also that they get their own turn and you roll initiative for them.
Yep.
With initiative being, after all, an ability check, you do in fact roll for the creature on their first roll, stated by the rules. The player also gets to choose the creature's actions, and in order to save some time, usually they just control them instead of issuing so many extra commands regarding movement, action or bonus action, etc.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier for the player to do so since they usually only have one PC to manage, while the DM always has a lot of entities to control, specifically in battle.
Yeah.
And since the description of those spells specifically allow the player to have control over the creatures with no action required. So I don't see a reason why a DM would take over their agency.
I do.
He doesn't go as far to make the creatures become hostile towards the party, but they will still work against our purposes. They might be slightly different than the spells, but I still don't get why last week this conjured figurine figurine of Wondrous I summoned, only for utility prior to the battle, didn't at least hide and instead ran straight towards the battlefield. I asked why a 3 HP intelligent creature would do such a stupid thing. We are talking foes with over 100 HP, and the DM said, I wasn't issuing any verbal commands, so he just got to do what he wanted. Which honestly just blew my mind.
Yeah, blows mine as well.
It is one thing to justify when a friendly, intelligent creature is not being specifically helpful to you if the PC happens to not have issued any commands yet, but even with all of those loose interpretations one could argue about, the description does say, if you issue no commands, the creature defends itself, but takes no other action.
Yeah, it's always how it's been. If they get no interaction from you, you don't say anything, they take the dodge action.
Yeah.
They don't run into their death.
Well, one could argue that running out of hiding towards the battlefield is exactly the opposite of that. So really, am I being the one unreasonable to have at least some agency over my own conjurations? Or is this DM just ignoring the rules?
We can sit here and talk about these wishy-washy interactions and stuff like that. Blah, blah, blah. Your DM hates the fact that you conjure things and can't big up and tell you that, so they just take it out of your control and kill them instantly by acting irrationally.
And make it fucking annoying while doing so.
There's nothing else to it. And the thing is, I get it. Summons are overpowered. They have been, they always have been. But the thing is, right, it sounds like you're summoning one beast.
Yeah, what's this? A figurine of Wondrous.
Yeah. A 3 beast, the 3 HP beast that is probably more for doesn't do loads of damage or anything like that. Yeah, like buffing or like having, something like that. I get it. If somebody comes out and it's just like, I conjure 8 quarter CR thingies, it does slow down combat.
I get it.
It's a viable tactic, but it does slow down combat.
Yes.
If somebody just conjures a fae being, it's using their concentration. It's like a 3rd level spell. Yep. It's not something that's going to completely break the game.
Yeah, got probably either dog shit AC or dog shit hit points.
And I get it. As a dungeon master, summons can be clunky, but if somebody wants to play like that, find out a way for it to work together. But at the end of the day, has anybody ever in their fucking existence of playing D&D says when it's their turn, I issue the verbal command for this? It's just no, you just roll initiative for it, and when it comes to its turn, you take the turn. Yeah. You don't need to issue. If you're nitpicking like that, and you're not even nitpicking like that, they just ran into battle. Yeah. If they didn't get any verbal commands, they take the dodge action. You don't like it, find out a way to say it. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it. Why are you making such a problem out of nothing? I hate dungeon masters like this.
Yeah, like, and you know what? It is a common thing for DMs to either ban or to at least not like conjures. I totally get it. I get it. But again, it's something that, especially if this player has geared their stuff towards it, there needs to be a conversation between the DM and the player where it's like, okay, this is hard for me for XYZ reason. I don't like this for XYZ reason. Can we come to XYZ conclusion together? Instead of doing this bullshit like
I just take control and then just intentionally kill it.
Yeah, and you know what? OP is so right. The DM has so many things to worry about, even if it's a one creature battle, right? Even the DM having to take on a summon is so much fucking effort.
God, you summon someone at my table. That's on you. That's all you,
that's
baby.
Your business.
You're finding the stat block. You're doing its turn. You're rolling for its initiative. You're taking account of its hit points.
Yeah, but
you try to put any of that on me, not having it.
Then again, if literally the DM is just taking control, just to sabotage
to try and get
them,
it off the battlefield.
Yeah, like,
but this is the thing. It's like I still wouldn't get it. I still would not get it. But if somebody's rocking up and summoning quarter CR to get as many action economies as possible, like that, I could see maybe a little bit of frustration because it would slow things down.
Absolutely,
and it's broken. I think they're taking out the game in one D&D.
That's kind of borderline cheesy, even though it is rules as written.
It is rules as written.
It feels borderline cheesy.
It just feels horrible.
Yeah, it does.
It just feels horrible. And I am glad that they're taking that out the game.
Yes, I agree. I completely agree.
But you know, if you're literally summoning one thing, what's up with that? There's nothing wrong with that. Do you just ban the spell Find Familiar as well?
And that's it. What it feels like this DM is doing is being like, I'm going to make this so insufferable for them.
Yeah.
They just stop using these spells.
I'm going to make it so pointless.
Yeah,
pointless.
It's pointless.
You summon it and I'm just going to run it in there.
A liability as well. This thing broke their hiding to run out into the battlefield and then alerted whatever it was that these people are here. It's a liability. Yeah. And this is such a boring, toxic, spineless way to show a player you don't like their actions. Oh my God, newsflash, you can talk to each other.
What's the saying, babe?
Oh my God, conversation is not confrontation.
Conversation is not confrontation. If you can't handle it, if you're a new dungeon master and you can't handle the summons, you think it's too powerful,
which
talk
is
to your
valid,
player.
By the way.
It's valid. I don't think one summon is that strong.
I don't either.
If you're that bothered, target them and try and break the concentration or something like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's ways to do it.
It's that would still maybe feel a little bit bad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's at least it's a viable way of playing. It's intelligent beings understand that people are concentrating on spells. Hey, I'm going to attack that person to try and break the concentration. Instead of going hey, that's mine now. Oh, I throw it into the abyss. Right, well, what are you going to do next? Are you going to summon another one? All right, I'll take that one. Throw it into the abyss.
Yeah.
Come on.
It is. You are so well within your right as the DM to not know how to counter something, to find something annoying, to find something difficult. You're so valid in that. But it's how you then take that information and actually act upon it. And you can have conversations with your players.
100%.
It's totally fine. And this is what happens when you don't.
This is what happens when you don't have a
conversation. Your players come to fucking Reddit and they have to be like, is this normal?
No,
it's not.
Sadly, it's probably normaler than it should be.
Because, I agree.
Because there is such this rhetoric around summons. Yeah, and it's just look, they're not that strong.
Yeah. Action economy is a thing.
Yeah. And they're a great thing to concentrate on.
Yeah.
They're a great thing to concentrate on. But
spot.
so is Thunderstorm or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Oh my God, my dog coughed. There's great spells like Aura of Vitality. It's it's a great thing to. It's not the only thing to concentrate on.
Haste.
Haste.
There's no. Oh my goodness, no! This person is not being unreasonable.
No,
not at
you're
all.
not being unreasonable. Your fucking dungeon master's being unreasonable.
Yeah, totally.
So unreasonable and such a terrible spot about it as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey.
Yep. Well, that's it.
Hey, that's it.
Hey. Some spices.
Thank you so much for being here.
Some good ones in that, to be honest.
Yeah, some great ones. I'm gonna go feed my dog his lunch now.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
he's a little hankering. He's a little hungry right now.
Yeah, he's hankering for it.
So, thank you so much for being here. I love you.
I love you.
Bully loves you.
Yes.
We've been the Eldritch Podblast.
Award-winning.
Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, all the good stuff. We've been the Eldritch Podblast, and we're going to see you on Monday. Bye.
And another huge thank you to our patrons for all of your support. A big shout out to our fellow entities.
Hooves,
Ariel,
Tula,
Runarian,
Arkham Labs Cosplay,
Maddie,
Pepsi Woman,
Luna,
Teddysaurus,
Caspian,
Ryan the Giant 111,
J-Spot,
Ultrafail,
Dallin M,
Sleepy,
Joe Dragonlord 2,
Alistar,
Lawkeeper Society,
Ricky B,
Danny Phantom,
Catherine,
Faustskin,
Azuriel,
Panda Queen Plays,
Xylo Boy,
Lucas Iapetis,
Luna River.
Ruined Rivers. Thank you again for all your support.
And if you too would like to become a patron of the Eldritch Podblast, check the link below.